Took me such a long time to let go of needing your touch. Now I understand you felt that I needed too much. It only made it worse, holding on to her. Well, do I need a crutch? I guess I seem frustrated, so let me take a deep breath. Nobody's at fault, no, it's not what you intend. But when I say forever, never say never, what I really meant was the impression you left on me, it was permanent. Some bright morning, when the war is over, we'll go riding, and with shining armor, for a world that's mostly superficial. I hope you will still remember me. I thought I'd write a letter, would explain it better, can't let you down. Don't always see how I am worthy, question what's good for me, I doubt myself. If you barely held together, tether or just seven, could not make a sound. Sometimes you'd rather disappear and say things that you fear out loud. Some bright morning, when this war is over, we'll go riding, and with shining armor, for a world that's mostly superficial. I hope you will still consider all the ways that we can build together, as long as we do the work together. We don't have to be our one and only. Please, my love, say you'll remember me. Took me such a long time to let go of needing your touch.
Good morning, good afternoon. Sean here. Intro song was from the Whitmore Sisters from the album Ghost Stories, and the name of the song is Superficial World of Love. A friend of mine has been revisiting some of the early spiritualists and those that could communicate with the dead, like the Fox sisters, who are in upstate New York and sort of started the the spiritualist movement in the middle of the 19th century. But today I wanted to talk about my own experiences with the spirits of the dead, or from ghost stories. Excuse me. And with that, I wanted to share a short story about the time that a book fell off the shelf. It's been about 10 years since my Aunt Judy passed away. She meant an incredible amount to me, and she died far too soon in 2015. And long story short, I probably haven't given myself the proper time to grieve. We don't really get taught how to grieve anymore in this society. So this video message is for anyone out there who might not know what to do when somebody they love dies. And that's okay. I still don't know how to grieve, and I'm not here to provide any answers. Today I just wanted to share an experience that leaves me wanting to know more, to learn more about what happens after we die. There's lots of theories about what happens, and I don't know which one's right or wrong. I don't think that's important. I'm just here to share this story today. And I knew I had to share it today, April 10th, because the first thing my wife did this morning is put on this album, Ghost Stories, which has become sort of my daughter's favorite album since we first discovered it in early 2022. And so without further ado, I'm going to get into the story. It was probably 2018. It could have been 2017. But it was before my daughter was born, and I was home alone in the house. It was very quiet, and I was working on something in the living room, and I hear a thump, thump, thump. I know, well, that's strange. It was definitely a noise. So I went into my bedroom to investigate, and off of the shelf, a book had fallen. Sort of strange. Books don't fall off the shelf on their own. But it wasn't just a book. It was a very special kind of book. And it's an object that belonged to multiple people. And the book was the Blue Day book. You can see that. But inside of the book was a gift, or a special treasure, that reminded me that we really don't know what happens when we die. We don't really know what happens when we live, when we're born, so of course we don't know what happens when we die. So inside of the book was a letter, folded up. And it's a letter from my Aunt Judy to her mom from 2005. Before I read the letter, I wanted to just back up for a moment and say that after my Aunt Judy died, I was thrust into a new position in my life that I had been unprepared for. Her husband, my Uncle Doug, as you can imagine, was a total wreck, losing the love of his life. So I was there for him, and together we got through all of the things that happen when somebody dies. And it's different for every family how that's going to play out. But I focused my attention and my love with the support that I had with my wife, from my wife, to give to my Uncle Doug, to keep him alive. And eventually Uncle Doug moved with us. And he moved to our house. We bought a new house, and he moved into our house, and we started a new life together, my wife, my Uncle Doug, and myself. And so the book, the Blue Day book, came with Uncle Doug. And it came with this other book as well, The Incredible Truth About Mothers, by the same author, Bradley Trevor Grieve. which ironically, Grieve, okay? If you can't see his name there, it's Grieve, Greive. So another level there if you want to read into it. But the book was a gift to my grandma from my Aunt Judy after my grandpa died. So it went to New Jersey, where my grandma and grandpa lived, and then it came back after my grandma died. The book was sent back to Washington, where my Aunt Judy lived at the time, and it stayed there until my Aunt Judy died, and then the book came down to Clark County, Washington, where I live, when my Uncle Doug moved in with us. And at some point, my Uncle Doug gave it to me, and it ended up on my shelf so that it could mysteriously fall off of that shelf one spring day or fall. It wasn't fall, it was maybe summer. Spring or summer. And it fell off of the shelf. And, I didn't think as much of it as I should have, perhaps at the time. And I've returned to it now in light of recent events. And I can find comfort knowing that the mystery that's unfolding around us doesn't have to have answers, but it does deserve to be acknowledged as a mystery. And so I just kind of love the fact that the book moved around and it's touched so many people's lives that are important to me. My grandpa, my grandma, my aunt, my uncle, now me, and hopefully anyone out there who finds value in this message. And so the letter's a personal letter, but there's some things in there that I hope you can find value in as well. I know I did. So December 15th, 2005. Dear Mom, well, how time flies by. Hard to believe it's my third winter in Washington. I'm still wondering when this accustomed thing kicks in. Since I talked to you last, the snow pretty much melted away, but after that it got clear and cold, really cold. No rain, but it's humid and hence ice. Ice in the hoses, ice on the road. Just put the ice on the table outside if there's no room in the freezer. It's not even officially winter yet. I think it will be okay if they turn on the global warming. The tropical world sounds fine to me. So are you feeling any better about the holidays? Maybe it's a good time to travel after all. It's hard after so many years to have Dad gone, and I know you miss him. Know that everyone is here for you and loves you even if we can't make it whole. But remember, all the fun life has had and hopefully will bring keeps me going, even if I'm not the best example. Thought you might like this book. I saw it one day in a model I was cleaning, and it cheered me up. As fate would have it, I went to a garage sale and saw it for $1 and bought it with the intention of giving it to someone special who was feeling down. So here you go. I hope it adds a little sunshine to your day as it did mine. You may or may not get your Christmas gift with this. I haven't got the right thing for you yet. It may come after Christmas, in fact, if I don't find it. But this is a start. I'm not exactly in the best spirit myself, but I thought a tree and maybe I'll decorate it this weekend. At least Doug will be here this Christmas. The card I sent with this is from around our house, about 30 miles away. We don't have snow as much as they do because of the elevation. Thank God. I'll talk to you soon. Merry Christmas. I miss him too. Hang in there. Mom. Love, Judy. So it's a feel-good letter, and I think what impacted me the most was that when a book first fell off the shelf, I just naturally assumed that, it was Aunt Judy's spirit who was coming back to tell me everything was going to be okay. I'd been having difficulties with my uncle living with us and just life. And so when you get something like a book falling off a shelf by itself, obviously it's a message or it's important. And my natural move was to assume that it was from Judy, right? Because she's the one that died the most recently, and that's who was trying to communicate with me. But the more I thought about it, and this is more recently, is that the book had also imprinted upon my grandma and carried a certain recognition of my grandfather. So who's to say that it wasn't my grandma or my grandpa who pushed the book off the shelf, for lack of better words? It's like that scene in Interstellar where the character played by Matthew McConaughey is hiding behind the bookshelf, and that's this big thing. You can push the book, and it's what's going on, but there's another way to look at it as well, that maybe it isn't Aunt Judy at all. Maybe it's not anyone that I know. Maybe it's just the benevolent force or the intelligence, the field that's seeking a way to communicate with me by using artifacts that have been imprinted with energies that are important. The energy that people put into objects and things, it leaves an imprint. And there's a communication going on that I don't fully understand. And it's an age-old question. I don't think I'm going to have the answer anytime soon. But something's going on that's beyond our comprehension and our perception. And it's just comforting to know that there is something there that's beyond our perception. Otherwise, books wouldn't fall off the shelf with letters from dead people. And anybody that's just lost someone or has started to think about their own passing more seriously, this is not the end. I don't know what phase this is in the grand cosmic unfolding of life, but our time here on this earth is not the end. I don't know what it is, but I know it's not the end. So I just wanted to share that. The Blue Day book with a letter from my late Aunt Judy, and this fabulous record from the Whitmore sisters that really evokes a lot of the unsettled emotions that we might have about people who are not with us anymore. Grief, loss, tragedy. So to everybody out there, sending you love, thoughts, and prayers.
Can't touch the ground. Oblivion makes no sound. We still left a weary soul. Let your flying shoes guide you. Bound to the sand, can't circumvent the end. Could you not survive yourself? Your body let you down. Everyone sees another great tragedy. Carry on in our memories. Goodbye, sweet dreams. Stars still on you, wishing you found the clues. Fragments of a worried mind and broken hearts who love you. Everyone sees another great tragedy. Carry on in our memories. Goodbye, sweet dreams. Goodbye, sweet dreams.
Thanks for joining me. Take care. See you again soon.